Hello, everyone. I wanted to make a short lecture on all the discussions of stress and stress in the workplace and facets of stress and personality, and that we need to definitely talk about reducing stress, stress reduction. And so, what this lecture is about is really two different avenues to take from this. What the organization, the company can do to help reduce the stress of the employees, and then what individuals can do on their own. So there really are two approaches. If your company unfortunately does nothing in that regard or doesn't do enough, then there's always things that you can do as well, and so on. Know this about stress. The mentality that a lot of people have when it comes to stress is that they just want to eliminate it, and that's their mindset. The thing to do is to eliminate stress. And what happens is that people can't necessarily always do that. It's not always possible to eliminate stress. So with that being the case, you've got to realize that there really are three different ways to address this issue of stress in the workplace. As you see there, one thing you can do is reduce it. And maybe that's the only thing you can do is a reduction of stress in the workplace. Sometimes if you have the mindset that I have to eliminate it and you don't, well, then it just causes more stress. You realize you can't. So take this second approach. Just try to reduce the stress if at all possible. And that's better than just leaving it as it is. And secondly, obviously, if you can eliminate the stress, that is a wonderful thing. We'll talk about different ways to do that. Sometimes it's as simple as getting a project done or completing some amount of work that needs to be taken care of. And then there's also the approach of stress prevention, where you try to prevent the stress from starting up in the first place. A bit of organizational planning, a little bit of having things prepared in advance sometimes can help to that end. Even some of the personal things you can do can keep the stress from starting up in the first place. So let's go ahead and talk about these. We're first going to talk about an organization's way of dealing with stress at work. I think this is very important here. And we speak of what is called emotional climate control. Emotional climate control simply means um, this is a better emotional state. A better emotional state can actually be conceived through better communication. Okay, better communication channels. And uh, if employees feel that they have input, they have avenues of input, they can say something that will truly be considered, all right, then they tend to be less distressed, all right. So in terms of uh, emotional climate control, we're talking about developing within your business, and we talked about lines of communication in a prior chapter, opportunities for employees to vent, to turn around and share ideas, to get those ideas taken seriously and acted upon. Employees feel a lot less distressed when you create such opportunities. So, creating opportunities for communication within your business is a good way of dealing with stress. Providing social support, okay? Studies have found that organizations that emphasize sort of a cohesive work group tend to handle stress better than individuals do. So sometimes when you work in groups, you will find businesses that will give you chances to do things in a group format as stress relief, such as having a softball team or having a picnic or having some other kind of outing. Or I've heard of businesses basically paying for a bowling team. If people want to be part of a bowling league, and basically go out bowling one day a week, one night a week, and stuff like that. These are good. These kind of social support things give employees opportunities to reduce their stress. Even weekly meetings or social gatherings after work are ways of doing this, okay? Because it allows people to vent, it allows them to communicate, and so on. Businesses do not pay the money for, teams for employees to be softball teams and bowling teams and stuff like that because they're nice and kind. They're actually doing it to lower their stress and it can and does work. Redefinition of employee roles. Studies have found that employees, the clearer the roles, the less role ambiguity. The less role ambiguity, sorry about that, the less role ambiguity, the less stress they tend to go through. So that can definitely work to their advantage there. Elimination of work overload and work underload issues. A lot of times, to make sure that employees are not overworked or feel frustrated from a lack of work, one of the things you can do is hire people with the understanding of what the job is. I call that proper selection, proper training. Um, you know, Equitable promotion decisions. Hire people and promote people because they've earned the right to do so, rather than because they're your best friend, and so on and so forth. And even a fair distribution of work makes a big, big difference. All right. One of the last things that you can do is offer assistance to stressed employees. A lot of businesses, and usually these are the bigger businesses, have what are called EAPs. EAP stands for an Employee Assistance Program. These are usually third-party organizations that a company pays a yearly or monthly money to, so that if your employees are too terribly stressed out, they can pick up the phone, they can call a phone number, they can meet, discuss over the phone what's going on in a person's life. That is what an EAP is all about. It's an assistance program to help deal with stress. And they can most definitely work. They really, truly can. Okay? These are ideas for the businesses. Now, in terms of individual ways of reducing stress, here are some things that the research has proven to be very, very effective. First of all, are you an optimistic person or a pessimistic person? May sound corny, but studies have found that individuals who are optimistic tend to work better and be more effective than people who are pessimistic. Do you see the glass as half empty or half full? How does that come across? Um, if a company turns around and will not have a golf team or bowling team or uh, softball team, I'm sorry, if they do not put together social outings, put it together yourself, okay? Get your friends together and suggest going out for a bite to eat or something to drink after work or to go do lunch. It's if the company won't do it, you do it. And sometimes you find that can be really good for relieving your stress and the stress of others. When it comes to being stressed out, there are two things to keep in mind here. Sometimes the problem, the stressor, is that there is a problem at work. And quite honestly, it may be as simple as addressing the problem and fixing the problem. All right. And so, that is what is meant by a problem focused approach. If we have a deadline to meet for a project, then can we stay late? Can we do whatever it takes to get it taken care of? Sometimes the best way that something can be addressed maybe is not a well-defined program. And so instead, what you do is you address the stress. All right. Instead of just addressing the problem, you go address the stress. I don't know if you've ever heard of these day spas. They may sound corny, but actually they're a brilliant idea, because when you go to a day spa, and a lot more women go to these than men. Women are more emotion focused than men. Doesn't mean that men are not. Men are more problem focused than women. Doesn't mean women are not problem focused. But basically, you go to these places and they help you to relax. They teach you to relax. You get the massage. You can get something, to help eliminate your stress. At these day spas, they don't ask you to bring in your homework. They turn around and want you just to relax, and that's what it's really all about. Other things basically can include um, religion. Studies have found that people that are believers in a higher deity, a God, and they attend services, sometimes have the social support. It gives them a feeling of a purpose greater than just their average day, and that can be stress relieving. Exercise in any form tends to get the body going and helps in the treatment of depression, of anxiety. Exercise in almost any form can help to eliminate stress. And then definitely sleep. We find that the vast majority of teenagers, adults, even kids do not get enough sleep. It's sort of amazing that we think we get enough, and a lot of times we find we really, truly do not. Have fun. Making the time and taking the time to go have fun. There's an old saying, all work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy, okay? Um, it's true, all right? Making time to take a break and vacation, using your breaks during the day at work is not necessarily fun, but it is a stress reducer, so it does work. Take a vacation, okay? There are businesses that will force you to take a vacation once in a while, sometimes for different reasons. But, a vacation can be a good opportunity to basically de-stress and makes a big difference. Eating healthy, you've heard that before. Even I have a problem with eating healthy sometimes, but fruits, vegetables, lean meats, healthy foods as opposed to the unhealthy foods make a world of difference. All right. And if none of these work, if none of these are being effective at lowering your stress at your job, and I've had a few people say nothing works, none of those work for me, then maybe it's time to find a less stressful job. Okay. So that's what I want you to know. Hope that all helps. All right. Keep those in mind, ways to help eliminate your stress.